Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lucifer here, business and spiritual consultant, as always. And I would like to talk about something specific today. Don't underestimate the power of the physical realm. I'm sure you've heard this before, but if you're practicing witchcraft, it's important to have a physical attachment to whatever spell that you are trying to manifest, whatever thing you're trying to manifest. Let's say you're doing a curse on somebody, let's say, all right? You're cursing somebody, right? I'm not saying the curse is not going to work if you don't have a physical attachment towards that person. The curse might still work. But if you really want to guarantee that the curse is going to work, you have to have a physical link with the person. You see, the more information you have, the more emotional ties or energetic ties. If you can build an emotional tie with your target, that's wonderful. If you can build an energetic tie with that person, that's great. In some cases, people already have emotional ties with their target. Why? Because the person probably did them wrong. The person probably did them wrong. They probably used to go out with each other, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. Right? Especially if we're talking about love spells. You know how people love them love spells, man. So of course it's easy for an ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend to curse their partner because of that energetic bond. It's really easy. You see, to be honest, half of the job is already done and they already did it. The client comes in, wants to talk to you about doing some love spells and shit like that. What the client then knows that he already did have the job. He already did have the work. So what you want to do is you want to have an energetic connection. Emotions is energy. Emotion is energetic movement. That's what the word emotion means. Emotion, energetic motion, in motion, emotion. Um, and look at the etymology. That's basically what it is. It's energy in movement. So an energetic bond is very important um, in order for your curses to work. The reason why I say I feel that a earth bond with whatever you're doing is important. It feels like magicians today think that they don't need any physical attachment to this world in order to shape it the way that they want it. You see, for some people, the reason why your magic is not working is because you lack of influence. The more influence you can manage, or in my neck of the woods, we would call that corruption. The more corruption you can muster, that you can create, the more powerful your magic will become over the world. But how do you build influence? You build influence by mingling or just doing grid work. Let's put it that way. If you don't know what grid work is when you go outside, you take a walk, and you walk in a specific shape or form around your area or around an area of influence or an area that you want to receive influence from. Because grid work doesn't really make you have influence on people, because influence is a little bit harder. have. Corruption is a little bit harder to have or to create. But when you're doing grid work, you might have a little bit of influence experience. It's just like a video game. You know, you might not be able to gain influence by doing that immediately, but let's say influence is like a skill level and you can level it up, right? You can level up your influence. So when you're doing grid work, you'll level up your influence, right? So the more influence you have over reality, that means the more people see you, the more people are aware of you. The more people are aware of you, you can now you can now have influence over the lives that you have around you, right? So influence or corruption, it depends on who's listening. I'm gonna say corruption, but if you want to corrupt, you know, the more corruption power is important for demonologists because we want to influence, we want to change the world that we live in, right? So you already have a starting point of influence. Let's say people's influence is at level 20, right? When you're born level 20 influence right off the bat, right? And that influence can diminish if you isolate yourself. So the more you isolate yourself from the world, the less corruption you'll be able to muster, that you'll be able to generate. So this is the reason why doing spell work, when you're doing spell work, when you're doing magic and you want to have a specific target, you want to aim at a specific target that you do not know, that you're not aware of, that you don't have any bond with. It's important to tell yourself that you need, if you're in that sort of line of doing things and you notice that it's not strong, it's because you don't have a connection. You're not building a connection with your client, because somebody may ask you, maybe it's your friend, you don't have a connection, you're not maintaining the connection with your friend. So what I mean by that is, don't just do a spell and then one day and then never talk to that person ever again, right? Like let's say you're an experienced magician, right? You're sure of yourself, right? But you just started out or something like that, right? But you're really powerful and you know it. Clap your hands. All right. So so anyways, uh you do the spell for the person and then you never talk to that person again because he's one of your friends and you know you all hang out from time to time but not really, right? So what you just did is you didn't do anything wrong, but if the spell didn't work, it's because you're not maintaining the link with the person, right? Maintaining the link with the person will build up corruption. That corruption is then going to build up more spiritual strength, spiritual power for the spirit, not for you personally, but well for you too, but for the spirit, it's going to grow. It's just like it's a complicated. It's complicated to explain, but it's kind of like it's like a snowball effect, right? The more you look at it, the bigger the snowball becomes. All right, so that's all I have to say for today. Have a good one. Peace out.